Minasan, konnichiwa. Makaisaku desu. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another kanji mastering video. And I say another one because a short while ago I did make one. So make sure you check that out. It offers some tips and methods that I like to use to study kanji and memorize them. And in this video we'll be doing more of the same but slightly different. So in that last video there are a lot of positive comments. Thank you so much. I shared and you also shared your methods for studying, how you like to practice, how you like to study kanji. So thank you so much for tuning in and liking and commenting and subscribing. And as you know, I was a student studying Japanese here in Fukuoka, Japan for the past year. And today's video will focus on how to best improve your Japanese, specifically kanji. So in this video, I'll share some tips of how to best learn kanji and how to use kanji effectively in daily life. Of course, like all good things, there's no magic pill that you can just take and boom, you're a kanji master. So anything I say in this video will still require a lot of work and effort on your part. So with that, I'll share some simple ways to make your kanji learning more effective and how to break down your studying so it can be productive and effective for you. So tip number 1, ichiban, reading. Reading speaks to your brain. The first tip I have for you is reading. And for this tip, make sure you've mastered hiragana and katakana before beginning. These alphabets are simple but play a crucial role in Japanese language learning. So when you first start studying kanji, you may look at individual kanji and try to memorize them one by one, or maybe in a group or a set, or even passively as you come across them in any given day. What's better is reading material like books or magazines, news articles, or advertisements on the Chikatetsu. It puts those kanji into context and makes the use of it make sense, and in turn makes kanji learning more proactive. From a young age when you're learning to read, you had to concentrate and force your brain to pay attention to every word. You may have even read aloud so you can hear the pronunciations back and practice the flow as you read along. Reading Japanese is a skill, just like your own native language. And the more you read, the more vocabulary you are exposed to. And the new vocabulary is used in the context that you're reading, and helps to infer meanings and intentions without even knowing every word. This means that even if you don't know the pronunciation of a kanji, but maybe you know the meaning, or maybe you don't know the meaning but you know the pronunciation, and how it's being used in a new context, you may still understand what is being read. Maybe you're someone who might not enjoy long-form storybooks or novels. As you know, of course, manga is very popular here in Japan and are a great way to read a short story with illustrations, almost like a comic book. There's not much text, so you won't feel overwhelmed, and you can see what's being spoken about. A certain manga or series might reuse the same kanji again and again multiple times within the same story. This allows you to be exposed to a kanji character in a shorter amount of time, thus learning to recognize them more repetitiously as you read along. And if you're someone who doesn't like reading books or stories in general, then watch something, a movie, a show, with Japanese audio turned on, and accurate Japanese subtitles, so you can listen and read along and see what's happening. You can then hear the accurate pronunciations and see the kanji in context. Regardless of what you choose, be sure to take notes and practice those newly learned kanji as you go. Here are a few tips for reading Japanese and kanji material. First, read it once and read what you can. When you start out, start simple. And don't spend too much time trying to figure out every single word or pronunciation or meaning of a kanji character. Just read normally, pick out what you can, and try to get through the material at least once. And then, read it again. After a time, come back to that material and read it again. Take your time this time. If you skipped over words or pronunciations in the first time, take your time to look them up and review them the second time. And then, read it again. Your memory will serve you each time you come back to it. It allows you to recognize the kanji that you didn't know at first, and you may read through the material with more understanding and speed. And then, read it again, until you are comfortable and you can actively understand what's being read. This method may seem a little boring to repeat the same material again and again, but it's also great practice to have it locked into your brain. This repetition really works for me, and I hope it works for you. Tip number 2, niban. Radicals. As you may know, kanji is a series of strokes. Those strokes make up radicals, which is what kanji is comprised of. They are the building blocks of Japanese reading and writing. There are about 200 radicals used in everyday Japanese kanji, and in recognizing radicals, you can understand what a kanji's meaning is, and how to learn and practice radicals. I recommend using something like jisho.org. This simple and free website is a focused and uncluttered way to quickly review radicals and see where and how they are used throughout its many uses. When you find a new kanji you have read, you can click onto jisho.org and select the radicals you see to take you to its meaning, pronunciations, and use. Jisho means dictionary. For example, this kanji is used in atarashi, which means new. And if this kanji is new to you and you don't know the character, you can click into jisho.org and simply select the radicals you see, one by one, to bring you to its meaning and how to use it. I'll put the link in the descriptions for you to check out. Tip number 3. Spaced repetition. In tip number 1, I mentioned reading the same material again and again. When you read something the first time, and after a time you come back to it again, your brain should hopefully recall what it is about, and allow you to recognize the kanji therein. When you consistently return to something, you create a behavior around it, and your brain actively begins to recognize and memorize the routine. Once you do it enough times, your brain can switch to autopilot, like second nature, and what once required your active attention can now be placed in your passive memory. Spaced repetition allows you to create a routine for learning kanji, so you are consistently reviewing what you have learned and gaining new vocabulary while actively progressing. Recognition is key. This method takes organization and a motivated attitude to keep coming back, to review the necessary vocabulary to help you progress your kanji learning. Thankfully, there's an easy way to do this. With the MochiKanji app, learning kanji is so simple and fun. It takes all the guesswork out of planning your spaced repetition by tracking all the kanji and vocabulary you have learned, and reminds you when it's time to review and progress. The special feature of the MochiKanji app is Golden Time. This feature is based on spaced repetition, an effective learning method that involves reviewing knowledge at increasing intervals over time. Based on your own history, MochiKanji will calculate and remind you to revise new words and kanji at the Golden Time, the time your brain can memorize best. And there are 5 levels of memorization. Each word you learn is divided into 5 levels. From level 1 with newly learned words, and up to level 5 for words already in your long-term memory. You can check your level of learned words in the digital notebook. Thus, as you learn more and more words and you're moving them up to level 5, you'll effectively be able to recognize and recall words with little effort each time. Another great feature of the MochiKanji app is that there's little mini lessons included as well. So you have the ability to take short and engaging, fun mini lessons for specific or everyday learning topics. MochiKanji offers interesting quizzes for each new word in kanji to help you memorize them easily. You can listen to pronunciations and tap to repeat and practice how a kanji is meant to be pronounced. There are also sample sentences for each new word in kanji that you've learned to help you use it in context. There's also a conversation feature where you can have short conversations and actually speak and hear back to hear your accuracy. This is great. It's excellent for speaking practice. These can all be tailored to your level from beginner N5 and up to more advanced level N2, along with some specific book series like Genki or Mina no Nihongo. There are over 500 lessons and thousands of words in kanji to learn daily. And to keep track and find new ones, you can use the J Dictionary. There are 10,000 words to learn daily with this feature. Search by typing a word in kanji, katakana, hiragana, or romaji, and you'll be able to find any new or learned word easily. You can listen to the pronunciation and even favorite them to find them quickly in your notebook. It's very useful. MochiKanji is a great tool to help you develop your kanji knowledge, and it should be used along with other study materials. If you're interested in this app, go to your App Store or Google Play Store or even the MochiKanji website to begin and experience MochiKanji. I know some of you are using it already, and I'll provide links down below in the description. Tip number 4, Yongban, stroke order. As I mentioned in tip number 3, kanji is a series of strokes that make up radicals, and each stroke has a particular set of rules surrounding each one. In learning those rules and in spaced repetition of them, you can actively memorize kanji and how to write them. Stroke order is the specific sequence of the individual lines or strokes that make up a kanji character. It's like following a recipe for writing. Why is it so important? Well, for one, readability. Proper stroke order ensures that the character is clear and easy to read. Aesthetics. It contributes to the overall beauty and balance of the character. Efficiency. It can make kanji writing faster and smoother. So here are some additional rules. Top to bottom, left to right. Start at the top left and work your way down to the bottom right. Horizontal strokes before vertical strokes. Horizontal strokes are always written before vertical ones. Outside to inside. Enclosures are written last. Let's look at this kanji for example. In English, it means sun, and it's written following this stroke order. So then, how do you learn stroke order? What resources are available to practice with? You can practice writing stroke order right within the MochiKanji app. Select the kanji section and practice stroke order step by step for any kanji you wish. The more you practice writing kanji with the correct stroke order, the more natural it will become. By following these guidelines and practicing regularly, you'll be able to write kanji beautifully and efficiently. You'll be a kanji master if you commit the time and effort. Tip number 5. Goban, balancing quality and quantity. The number of kanji characters you can effectively learn in a given day will vary depending on various factors, including but not limited to your learning style, available study time, and your personal capabilities. Keep in mind that the more advanced you get, the more complex and less common a kanji might be. making learning even more difficult. It's safe to say that it's quite manageable to perhaps maybe learn and memorize between 5 and 10 kanji a day. That might be a stretch for some. Maybe 5 kanji in 2 days, 3 days, maybe a week. Some of you can handle maybe much more than that. But cramming lots of kanji in may lead to burnout, and you might not be able to retain much of the new vocabulary that you're learning. It's crucial to balance quality and quantity. Spending enough time to memorize and retain a kanji's meaning, readings, pronunciations, and stroke order is vital to long-term retention. And remember, it's okay to slow down. It's not a race. It's a marathon. Ganbatte. Alright, so those are some of my best and recommended tips for studying and practicing kanji. I hope you found this video useful. Please let me know what you think. How is your kanji learning journey going so far? Which methods do you recommend and what's been effective for you? Please share it with this great community. Again, you can download the MochiKanji Learn Japanese app from the App Store, Google Play, or the website. I've provided the links in the description for you. Try it out. And on this video, leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscription. Thank you for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Arigatou gozaimasu.